because it's early season geese. I mean, let's face it, they're tough to kill in the early season. Like all the
unpredictable.
Yes, that's probably the best way to put it. So what do you think were some of the key elements that allowed us to have the success that we had today?
Consistency in the feed, letting them sit, let them get comfortable. Just like that old couple that comes to the diner every single day.
Sunday.
They sit at the same table.
Yeah, you already know what they want to order.
Waitress.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then you come in there and it's like, hey, I don't know you.
He's getting 2 pancakes, eggs over easy, and a chocolate milk. You know he is.
You served them the family reunion that they've been there for the last 4 days,
Yep.
But also, that field was a big field, really, really big. But the way that the rolling hills that were around the rock pile where we set up, it really changed and made that field and the water in front.
Made it feel small.
Yeah, it made that field really small and condensed.
That's a good point.
Really just shrank it down because
we only had that one group shortstop.
You knew those birds were going to come run through that valley right there, regardless. So even though they couldn't see the outskirts of it, that fog, they were coming there regardless.
No doubt.
Even with a heavy fog, that might have worked out for us too.
No doubt.
Normally you would probably get skunked in a day like that.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a love-hate game with the early season geese, though. There's just nothing you can do about it. That group looks so good when you shoot a group before, feet down in the hole. Then that group shortstop, you had 100 for why? You don't know. They're so dumb, they're smart sometimes.
No there's no why. There's no why.
Dakota, do you have that clip of the group that from the north that shortstopped us?
You might have to pull that up.
The point being, we thought the majority of our birds were going to, last night we talked about it. We thought the majority of the birds were going to come from the north, right? Based on what we've been seeing.
Right.
And the majority of them came from the southwest.
Right.
And then the first group we get from the north shortstops us. The only one all morning.
Of course.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, so what happens if they all came from the north, right? Because we never got another group.
Right.
So
clearly they changed the roost either at some point yesterday, maybe even the day before, because the last 2 days we've seen them, for the most part, they've been in the field except for maybe like one or two.
That's the shortstop right there.
You cannot
be serious. The ones that came from the north did that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, in this field in particular, too, with these rolling hills, and there was a couple sloughs out there, so when it's foggy in the morning, they might go water to water, and that's exactly what a couple groups did do as well. So
that's true.
When they want to sit in a pond in your field downwind of you, anything comes that you're going to shoot at, you're going to blow them out of there.
Imagine, though, if we would have set up on that pothole, that little slough this morning. Imagine if we would have set up there with a couple floaters, and like when they came off and saw that there was geese on that water in front of us.
Yeah, that could have been dirty.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
I do.
You remember that hunt 2 years ago when we shot them on that little piece of sheet water?
Hey, so if you can find that real quick as we continue to talk about that, that'll be 2 years ago on our Vimeo page.
And that morning was super foggy, if you remember, first thing in the morning. It was super foggy.
Oh, that's right, it was.
And
it was the only time we
really
ever
screwed
hunted.
us out.
It's
Of a better hunt. A better hunt. I mean,
sure.
we had a great hunt. We shot, 40 some odd birds that day or whatever.
Probably the most we've ever shot in one single day.
It was 43, 45.
I bet we would have had 15 or 20 more if it wasn't for the fog.
That's true.
For sure, yeah.
First and only time we've ever hunted water in the early season.
Right.
And it was just because it was so wet. That was just a low-lying sheet
dude.
water. They weren't even roosting there.
No.
It was basically in between the
roost and the feed.
The feed and the roost. And
we call that a staging area.
Yeah.
Oh.
Here we go.
Oh.
Thank you, Joe.
Oh. I've never hunted one of those before. I typically stick to roost.
That's it. No. Don't be that guy. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
You're not that guy, pal.
So what other key things do you think contributed to the success?
Well, like Cole said about the consistency those birds have been in that field, but not only that, but just the consistency in the weather. Did you get all that out of there?
No, I'm just trying to let you know that there was something else that was a key to the success.
Oh, he knows. Yeah.
Hey, you want a little toot toot on the horn?
Yeah.
I want to honk, honk.
Okay.
Come on.
He's training for 2022. He's going to make another comeback tour.
Hey, just to toot Ronnie's horn. And this morning, we're talking about flagging. Ronnie's making a point.
There is no way they saw that flag.
Yes, there was.
No,
Yes, there was.
Inside 100.
No.
Back left shoulder, you bet they did.
Inside 100.
So there was one group in particular They went out, they circled around. It looked like they were going to land on the water. We hit them pretty hard on the call. Ronnie hit them pretty hard on the flag, and they circled right back around. And on a foggy morning like we had today, when they might not be able to see your decoys as well, they might have a better chance of seeing that silhouette of the flag against the skyline to where it's like, oh, yeah. And they see it, but they didn't see it well enough, so they don't know if it's real. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You would have to be a world champion flagger to understand.
You know what I'm trying to say.
Hold on, Joe. What did you charge Ronnie for those flagging lessons this morning?
I told him I'd send him the invoice. But
we're working a trade deal.
A day like today, I think the flag definitely helped on a couple of our groups for sure.
On a couple.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Were you able to find that skim water shot there? Okay, we're good to go. So check this out from like 2 years ago.
Dude, that's a headache.
That was dirty. Hey, clean up. That was dirty. Yeah, that was a dirty hunt.
Got him again. Nice on that, too. Nice on that.
Mo Bamba.
There's Millie.
Meek Millie. Shout out Meek Millie. Look how foggy it was that morning, too.
Yes.
But they were coming to that little cattle pond
They wanted it so bad.
before they were going into the wheat field across the street.
Yep.
And, yeah.
The correct way to hunt water.
Yeah.
Just like that couple going to the diner.
That's right.
Nice. Where'd that one come from?
So there, the fog had started to lift at that point. You see how those birds didn't decoy
And
as
then
well.
the birds didn't fly for a while, as you can see here.
Right. See those birds lifted as before with the fog. They were decoying really well. At that point, they're probably able to either pick out the camera lenses, or at that point they're just seeing us looking down over the top of the blind or whatever. Yeah, that was fun.
It's all right. That was cool.
That was still cool.
Still cool.
Still more coming, he says.
All right. That was fun. Huh?
We did actually hunt long time that day, like all the way
Yeah,
up.
that was.
It was like almost to lunch.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was well worth it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
absolutely.
well worth it. Yeah.
You know, that was a fun morning. I actually would love an opportunity to do that again. Hopefully the opportunity presents itself. Something about big honkers over waters.
Which y'all preach it all the time. Late
Yeah.
season, all the hunts late season are honkers over water in Missouri. I mean,
Right.
to have a chance to do that up here early season and pretty much see the same results, it definitely speaks something to hunting them over the right water for sure.
Exactly.